Hey everybody, and welcome to Honeybee Entertainment. I'm your Coach B, and today we're going to be looking at hero reviews. Now, this is a concept that I've touched on in my past two videos, but in my cooldown management video is really where I introduced this concept, and that's the idea of reflection and review. Today we're going to be focusing on the review aspect. Now, when talking about review, what we're specifically talking about are VOD reviews. Now, this is where we have the opportunity to go back and look at our gameplay, pull out pain points from our gameplay, and then after we have diagnosed the issue, then we can go in and we can start doing something to correct it. So, this past week was my first time ever learning Symmetra. I have played her almost none outside of mystery heroes or the occasional I'm going to play whatever the game puts me on at the beginning of the game. So this has been completely new for me. I've been learning everything as I go. So this is a competitive game that I played 2 days ago. And we're going to go in and we're going to focus on a few different aspects. Now, going into this, I did write down a few things. I decided going into this, there are a few areas that in this past week I have already kind of found to be potential pain points. So I'm going into this review with a little bit of forethought, but it's totally okay to go into these videos with no idea what it is that you're looking for. Now, in my reflection and review part of my cooldown management video, I talked about the importance of just going in and watching one ability. And that's going to be a large part of this. A few of the things that I pulled out were my turret placement, my teleporter usage, the when and the where I used my ult, and then a few kind of buzzwords, tempo, whether or not I'm thirsting, and how well I'm setting up. So there are, like I said, a few things that I've kind of already pulled out. But we're going to go in, and these are kind of just loosely on our mind. So let's go in, and let's see what happens. Alright, pushing the right side, looking for a nice setup. Oh, there's a turret. Okay, beautiful. We've got one turret on the field, so potentially could have a few more out here. Maybe a waste of teleporter. Should throw a sentry behind him, right? I got the kill, but just a little extra pressure. Maybe force him off of high ground. Beautiful. Alright, so I'm setting up here. Where's my cover? Where's my cover? Okay. I think that was pretty well done. Let's take a quick pause right here. And we're just going to go over everything real quick. Think about what happened. So the first thing, the beginning of the fight, I maybe was holding some of my turrets a little bit too much. And I potentially wasted my teleporter when I was going up those stairs. So if I held my teleporter, I potentially could have used that to make a play on the Baptiste. Or, like I had said, I also probably could have thrown a turret onto the wall behind him to give myself a little bit, to take some pressure off of me by applying pressure at another angle. And then right here, going into the last fight, I liked the setup on the door. If they choose to push, I might have overextended slightly, but that's not really what we're looking at here, right? We're just looking at how well I'm using the character's abilities and how well all of those abilities are meshing together. So, got two turrets on the side here, holding a turret. Currently have no turret. Alright, 1, 2. Got 3 on the field now. quick note, I think turret placement was okay. I think I would have rather put them on the ceiling under the balcony, though. That way, they have to look up a little bit more and potentially even move out into the street in order to actually shoot at them. Oof. Okay. Alright. Good teleporter usage. I don't think I meant to drop there, but we made the most of it. Good closing the distance. I'm in a bad position here. Back up. Okay. Good teleporter usage. Force Ash to use Coach Gun. I could even go back up there now, which I don't believe I do. Probably should have thrown a turret at the top of that door. Boom, there we go. There's the turret. Alright, we've got one turret up there, but we could get a couple more on the wall here, and we're going to want to teleport out. As soon as we could have, we should have gotten out of there when they were starting that push. We can TP to high ground, and we can keep going from there. So, again, we're going to take a quick little pause, and we're just going to go over everything in our head again. I really liked the teleporter usage up to the high ground to force the Ash to back up. And I also liked putting that turret up there above the door frame. I thought both of those were really well executed. Going into that last fight, though, I could have done a bit more setup. I had turrets that could have been above the door. Or even I could have gone on the side. There's a lot of things I could have done there. But focusing on abilities, I think my big blunder there was I didn't have enough turrets on that last point already, and I also should have used my teleporter as soon as I saw that push. Go back up to bridge, and I can spam right clicks from there.
August, hey, you want to get this payload moving, or should I?
Oh, I hear the Junkrat. Too late on the turret. I really like the idea. I should have just put it where I put that second turret and walked away. Gone up the stairs, waited for the Junkrat. And that's a big part I've picked up on with Symmetra is the importance of baiting people. Forcing them into small areas or having them walk around a corner into where you've set up your turrets. Again, right there, that was a good teleporter. I like it. I pushed the Ash off of the high ground. Unfortunately, I also ended up in a pretty bad place there. And I actually want to back up real quick because I wasn't paying attention to it. Yeah, no, my teleporter was not off of cooldown. Okay, want to make sure. Okay, so get some turrets out on the field. TP to high ground. Beautiful, I like this. Ooh, nice, good kill. Now, if I'm smart, I shouldn't drop here. Ooh, I don't like how this is going. Alright, yep, okay. So, a few things there. I blatantly gave up high ground when I had the advantage there. Our team was going to push them to the other side of the bridge, so I wasn't going to have to worry. The reason I dropped, I'm fairly certain, was that they were starting to go around the corner, and I wanted to keep dealing damage. So I dropped down to be in front of them, when I very easily could have instead stayed up top and wait for them to come to the other side of the bridge, then start raining down, right clicks, throw turrets behind them even. And then the second problem here I see is once this orbital ray is coming in, everyone is stacked up on this corner. I have my teleporter, and I very easily could have teleported over here, underground, deal damage, and I probably could even escape this way. So, let's keep going.
A chance to act on my observations.
Okay. Nice. Now, again, right here, I should be putting turrets on that wall next to it. So if they want to push out onto bridge, they're going to be taking some damage. Right there, see? I get them out. Too late, though. They should have already been up there. Alright. I want to see a TP soon here. Nice, nice. Okay, running up mid right here. Right, okay. We want to stay off to one of the sides. There we go. Pretty good wall. Definitely split the team there. Stopped Sigma from being able to make really big plays with his ult. So I'm decently happy with that. Stupid Junkrat traps. My lack of awareness.
Chaos will not be unseated in a day.
Alright, so we have 2 turrets up. Neither of them are doing anything right now. So when we get back to the fight, hopefully we're going to get those turrets out quick. Have them set up. Team is just mopping up at the moment. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. 3 on the field. All of them are within the playable area here. Beautiful. Okay, nice. Not sure I like how I threw those turrets. I probably should have thrown the turrets into the teleporter, and did what they call a turret bomb. From what I recently just learned is a pretty effective strategy. Which is essentially where you put your teleporter down and then you throw turrets through it, or you put your turrets on the ground in front of you and then make your teleporter into the enemies, instantly teleporting 2 or 3 turrets at their feet, forcing them to turn around, forcing them to either take the damage or deal with the issue. Alright. So good attack. We've got 1, 2, 3 turrets, and we just switch. Okay, great. So we got one behind us that we have as just an early warning system if someone decides to flank, right? Got one up top, so if someone drops top window. Heard that Sombra. And this is, I think we can just sit up here for a while. But of course we jump down. Now I'd like to see me use the teleporter here. And instead I get caught on the corner and die. Okay, so issue there. As soon as they started pushing, I should have turned around, thrown my teleporter up to the high ground, and again, started throwing right clicks. Okay, so I see Sombra's health pack here. So I'm pretty sure my thought process here is I'm going to throw this in this room. She's probably going to want to come back here, and even if she doesn't, this is a enclosed area where I have the advantage, right? So I'm just trying to play this room as much as I can. I'm pushing out now, missing my right clicks. Okay. What a waste of a wall. Okay. Alright, so, wall. Why was it so bad? Oof. Well, it was a horizontal wall, so ultimately speaking, all they had to do was push past the wall, and it was no longer effective. So if I was going to use the wall here, I think this would be a situation where I want to use one of the vertical walls, where I'm putting it through point, and then we can do some skating from one side to the other and dance around a little bit. All right. Thank you, Moira, for saving me. Okay, see again, I kind of step into this room, I throw a turret at the door, which is just sort of my way of knowing I can back into there and have some security. Okay, got 3 on the floor, 1. Beautiful, I like that. And I should be able to just sit here for a good little while again. I'm sure as I say this, I'm about to drop down. But I think this was a good time to drop down. You know, the team made a big play there, and I was a part of it. So. Sweet. Teleporting back to high ground. And I think that's totally fine. I know there's a way to path up to the high ground here, but it's, you know, that would have to take me in front of the front door. Again, right there, I lost the Sombra. I'm just teleporting away. Okay, now I need to get another turret on the field. Sweet. Okay. I think that ended up being a much better wall solely off of the fact that, no, actually that was a great wall. That grav came in, it was sort of lucky, but it ended up being a pretty good wall. I would have liked to see me use it potentially a little sooner, but like I said, it all kind of worked out because their Zarya ended up graving pretty much at the exact same time that I threw my wall out. Healing for Sombra. See, that was a good teleporter. Playing on the teleporter, that's something I think I'm not using a ton, but just the fact that if I'm right next to my teleporter, I can get out quicker. But that was a great escape there. Juno and I are alive because of it. Now we are gonna need to reclaim some space here. So hopefully I use my teleporter again. Good setup. I like the setup here. Just making sure that they can't push this corner. Struggling with the teleporter, but I like the idea. Now I heard a Sombra. I'm spamming. Throw a turret there. Boom. Okay, so let's take some time to put some notes together. Okay, first things first, our walls. And just, I actually am writing down here, so bear with me as I write. So our walls. I would say our walls were okay. They were a bit rushed. So we do want to use them reactively. Waiting for the enemy to push. And then we want to use them. So, and then the other way would be I need to focus on when to put the wall vertically. And that would be when, more so like when we're not trying to hold a choke, but rather we're trying to fight in an open street. Put the wall vertical, that way we can strafe left to right and constantly keep having that cover. Do the Winston bubble dance. Alright, let's see, what else is there? For the most part, pretty good about getting turrets out, but I think we can still focus on trying to make sure that we have 3. We're doing pretty good about that, but I would say the main thing is moving forward, especially on both attack and defense. We want to try to make sure that we have 3 out, but I need to be more proactive about moving sentries forward. Okay. Okay, there's a couple of things. Other things I had written down, my teleport usage. I was pretty happy with my teleporter usage. There were a few times where I was getting a lot of pressure, or I was watching the team, that tide kind of grow as they're about to crash down on us. I wasn't being proactive enough with the teleporter. So that would be my last note, is be a bit more proactive with the teleporter. Alright. So out of the things we were looking for, turret placement, teleporter usage, when, where to wall, tempo, thirst, and setup, we found that our walls were a bit rushed, and that we weren't quite thinking about why we needed to put it the way we need to put it, which, now that I'm not playing the game, I can think about, but in game, it was a bit more just, I need a wall. Boom, put a wall. Let's see here. Make sure that we have 3 turrets out. That's turret placement. I thought our placement was pretty decent. There were a few that were kind of thrown in easily destroyable places. But for the most part, I just want to focus on moving those sentries more often. And then finally, with the teleporter being a little bit more proactive. And now we're going to go and we're going to look at one more game. This is a Clash game that I played yesterday. And I don't remember this game. I just remember it not being the best. Which is part of the reason why I picked it. So let's see what happens. We're going in with the same thought, looking for the same things. We have 2 turrets out. We're set up. Boom, 3rd turret. Awesome. Oh, overextending a bit here, right? Yep, see? That was thirst. That was thirst. As soon as I went around the corner and saw 3, I think I could have stayed at the top of the stairs and been a little bit more careful of not going down those stairs. And once the Genji got low, that's when we really made a mistake, because we said, oh, I'm gonna go get him, and yeah. Alright, so we have no turrets over here whatsoever. This teleporter was useless, right? We teleported nowhere. I mean, we did teleport somewhere, it just was not a great place. So again, let's get a quick pause. It's best to just take a second to actually think. So first fight, there was a bit of thirst going on. That Genji got low, and I decided to push downstairs when that was my opportunity to back up. I forced him out, and because I chose to push the angle, we lost that angle, right? So I could have instead got those 2 right clicks off on the Genji, and then I could have gone back up the stairs and maybe out through that door to my right so that I'm out in the back balcony. And I already have a turret out there. I could throw another up there and make that area really secure for me. So that was my first mistake I noticed. Second mistake was going into that second fight when they were at our side. I did not put my turrets up. They were still on the inside of point. And so when that Doomfist pushed out, when the Genji pushed out, there should have already been something there deterring them from pushing. And then obviously that teleporter, let's just not even talk about it, guys. That was something else. Okay, we've got 3 out right now, but only 2 in somewhat effective positions. I'd like to see that 3rd brought back over here somewhere. I like that teleporter. Pushing quickly. Now we're in kind of a risky place here because we don't have anything set up behind us, right? And we're about to get dove. Good teleporter, right? We could have just made that a slightly more defensible position, so that Doom and Genji could have had, like I said, more pressure while pushing. Ooh, I already saw that. I liked that I used the teleporter there. It was just poorly timed, and I did place it at the feet of an enemy Doomfist. So I liked the when, I didn't like the where. 1, 2. Should be a 3rd turret out right now. Should be a 3rd turret out right now. Really need to throw out a 3rd turret somewhere, literally anywhere. I even took time thinking about that wall, and I don't like it. Yeah, I think this would have been a vertical wall. Throw the wall straight through the middle of point. That way my team can rotate in and not force through the choke like that. Because my team was pushing past my wall, right? So, too close, and potentially should have changed the direction. Eesh, I don't like how passively I'm playing here. I also have no turrets out. So I have one teleporter out, and it is all the way back on first point. Okay. I'm pretty sure that was just a misplaced teleporter. I think the thought was to go up to high ground there. Alright. I think I should move turrets up here onto this wall. Onto that little... What do you call it? I don't know. The soffit. Okay, getting turrets out. Still have one that needs to be out somewhere. Right? That's one of the big things I've been noticing this game. Is I have not had 3 turrets on the field. Hardly ever. One gets destroyed, and we are not proactive enough about putting another out. Okay, this little double ult from our team. Turrets, beautiful. Another one. Put another one out. Hell, another one. Get another one out. Oh man. See, once you find something, like the fact that I have hardly ever had, that I'm not getting enough teleport, or sentries out, now I'm like, you get a little annoyed with yourself. Like, where is it? Come on, put it out, put it out. Again, here, as soon as I start backing up, I think I should just have a turret on that wall in front of me. Just anything so that if they push past that point, they're going to start taking some damage and, at least take a second thought about, full aggroing on me. So I have a wall again here. I don't hate this one. This one's pretty decent. But I could have waited. I didn't, once again, wait. Unfortunately, our Kiri also threw the Kitsune at the same time, which really they reacted well and just backed right up into the choke and said, yeah, no, we don't want to take that. So, well played by them. And I think I finished this game out with Pharah. So, we'll just call it here. Actually, why not? Let's finish it. Right. Watch myself die one more time. Okay. So we took a look at 2 different games. The first was a game that we won in a push map. The second was a game that we lost, and it was a clash map. So we got to see 2 different game modes. We got to see a good game, we got to see a bad game. So what were our takeaways from that second game? From the second game, one of the things I immediately noticed was that I pretty much always had 2 of 3 turrets out, right? So, making sure that we have 3, all 3 on the field, and I'm pretty sure that my thought process was I was trying to keep one in reserve, I think was my thought process. Unfortunately, I'm trying to I think I was trying to cycle them, but I was still not being proactive with that 3rd turret. And also, when being forced back, I need to drop sentries behind to deter enemy from pushing further. And in some of my games, I think I've even had some fun moments with those types of plays where A flanker pushes me. We almost win. It could have even been considered a trade. We're so close. And then they go back to the fight and you get marked by one of the sentries and, either ended up getting zapped or a teammate turns around and goes, oh, look. So, sentries, we were not having enough out that game. And see, was there any other big things? That was the big one that I noticed. But I also had one little feed area. And that was where I was on the top of those stairs with that Genji. So, just making sure that we don't have to secure kills. Don't have to secure kills, right? Just deal damage, apply pressure. And get out before you die, right? Sounds easy enough, but that's one of the things I have definitely noticed. I talked about it in the first game we watched, which is setting up in small areas or behind a corner and baiting people to either come into you so that you can take a fight where you want, right? Or to stay somewhere, deal pressure, and then being able to get out with your teleporter quickly. So, we went in, we looked at 2 games. Like I said, we did go in with a few things that were on my mind. But I would say, for the most part, we were able to just watch the gameplay, and we were able to find things that we were underutilizing, or potentially things that we were doing improperly. And as I had mentioned in my previous videos, you're not going to find everything every single time, and that's not the point of the review. The point of the review is simply for us to be able to go back and find something to work on. And I mentioned this in my previous video as well, which is the fact that no matter who you are, what your skill level is, whether or not you are really invested in the community and into training and coaching and whatnot, even if you are a noob, you can go back and you can look at your gameplay, and I guarantee you that you'll notice something. Now, one of the things that I definitely noticed was I was just watching that little circle at the bottom left of my screen. I was seeing if it said 3 out of 3, right? Now, that might be with Soldier. Maybe you're running around and you're noticing, hey, I'm never using my healing station. Or maybe with Junkrat, you're noticing, man, I'm like always double mining and I feel like I never have mines when I need them. Or maybe Venture, you're saying, I always keep diving in and I keep like getting this, I keep securing a kill, but then I have no cooldowns and I can't get out, right? So there's always going to be something. I would say the first place would be, and the real pain point is death. Whenever you die, whenever you die, that is obviously a point in time where you can go back and say, okay, why did I die here? And more than likely, you're going to find one thing that you could have done better. So, quick review. This was a hero review for myself on the character Symmetra. I've spent the past week learning her, and a few things that I have noted that I need to keep working on are that my ult is typically a little bit rushed in the fact that I'm not thinking about where I'm putting it, and I think I was doing okay with being reactive, but like I said, I was being too rushed. Even if you're being reactive to the situation, that doesn't mean you have to rush. The next thing would be that we did not have 3 turrets out as often as possible. And also that we needed to be moving those sentries forward or backward with us as the game and as the fight develops. I think we were doing really well with our teleporter, but we still do need to focus on being a bit more proactive with the teleporter, which sort of ties into our feeding note that we made, which is that we don't need to necessarily finish kills. Symmetra can deal and apply a lot of pressure, whether that be her sentries, her left click, or her right click. All of those have the ability to deter people from pushing you. However, when they have that momentum, you need to be able to acknowledge that they have that momentum and get yourself out of there before you get steamrolled, right? So being more proactive with the teleporter to escape those dangerous situations. And I think that's about it. So this has been my hero review for Symmetra. I'm sure that if one of you decided to do this with Symmetra, you would have different pain points. However, there's always going to be similar things. One Pharah player reviewing their gameplay compared to another Pharah player reviewing their gameplay. Maybe one of those Pharahs has realized, hey, I'm always running out of fuel, and I constantly end up in these situations where I have to float to a safe area. And then maybe the other Pharah is like, yeah, I'm doing really good with fuel management, but I keep ending up in these situations where, I have to, I really wish I had my concussion, and I don't. Or I keep ending up in these situations where, I'm landing behind cover, but then I have too long on this cooldown or that cooldown, whatever it might be, right? So, but I think a few of these things are pretty universal that I wrote down. Your turret placement, your teleporter usage, how you're using your ult. Those are her 3 main abilities, right? And we've simply asked a question. How and where am I putting my turrets? How am I using my teleporter? When am I using my teleporter? And when and where am I using my ultimate? Right? Really easy questions, simply focused on the abilities of the character. Well, that's it for today, guys. I'm really excited to be able to go into my next game with Symmetra, have a few things to focus on. I think in my next game, what I'm really going to be trying to focus on are my 3 turrets. Making sure that I have all of them on the field, and also that I have them all in an area where they're actually being effective. Sometimes it's okay to have a sentry off to the side to act as a early warning system, but even then, it is doing something. Just because it's not activating and dealing damage doesn't mean it's not doing something. So, making sure that the turrets are moved forward or back with you and the team in order to have the greatest effect for your gameplay. Alright, thanks for joining me, guys. I'm B, this has been Honeybee Entertainment, and I'll catch you all on the next one. See ya!